From your local news leader, this is NBC 10 News Today.
President Trump makes a stop in the sportsman's paradise where he talks infrastructure, the economy, and makes a campaign promise. Details coming up.
And 2 totaled cars fall off a tow truck, one of them landing on I-20. What charges the driver is facing ahead.
Plus, a camp helping kids battling cancer needs your help. We'll tell you how you can get involved.
Alrighty, good morning. It is now 6:32. We're back at it.
Yeah.
Back here. How you guys doing this morning? Happy
Good.
Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day.
No slide to the weekend.
Yes.
Trying to get Chris to watch Game of Thrones.
No, that ain't going to happen. I'm sorry.
The best show ever.
It's not
Should.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're not going to win this argument with Reed and I because we already know.
It's too long. My attention span doesn't go longer than 10 seconds.
But you know those summer days when you have nothing to do and you can just binge watch your favorite show?
Yeah, I could also go out to a local brewery and just, drink something, yeah.
Just want beers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could also
Classy guy.
Yeah.
Classy guy.
Full of
You know
class.
what else is classy? The weather.
And Reed.
Yes. Both
Yes.
of those things. It's nice and sunny outside. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a warm one. Temperatures back in the mid to upper 80s for you in your forecast. Mostly sunny skies. Couple passing clouds. That's about the extent of that for today. Looking outside, there it is. Beautiful. Not a cloud in sight. Enjoy this. You got nice weather for the rest of the work week. All those details coming up here soon. That's your forecast first.
Thank you, Reed. President Trump visited Bayou State yesterday, spending time touring Cameron Parish and promoting energy infrastructure and economic growth, and making a promise to the people of Louisiana.
So the I-10 bridge, and I say this, and I give you this commitment, and I can't play with these 3, Steve, John, Bill, everybody sitting here. If we win this election, which is just 16 months away, we're giving you a brand new I-10 bridge.
President Trump promised in Hackberry, Louisiana, a new bridge if he receives a second term in the White House. The president made his pledge after visiting the community's natural gas facility. The bridge he wants to replace appears to be the River Bridge. State lawmakers have been working on a way to pay for a replacement for the old structure for some time now. No word on how President Trump plans to keep his commitment if he wins re-election.
A man has been airlifted to the hospital after being hit by a vehicle. It happened on Highway 165 at Renwick Street around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. According to police, a man was trying to cross at that intersection when he was hit by a vehicle heading south. The victim, who has not been identified, was airlifted to Ochsner LSU Health in Shreveport. His injuries are not known at this time, and the driver of the vehicle was not ticketed. We'll give updates as soon as we get them.
El Dorado police need your help finding 2 people wanted for terroristic acts. Both Harold Burns Jr. and Harold Stevens III face charges, including terroristic acts, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a felon. If you know where they are, please do not confront them yourselves. They are considered armed and dangerous. Call the El Dorado police or Crime Stoppers.
2 former Richwood guards will be sentenced today for their roles in attacking 5 inmates. Former Sergeant Demario Schaffer of Delhi and former Officer David Parker of Tallulah are accused of conspiring to assault inmates and covering it up. Captain Roderick Douglas and Lieutenant Christopher Loring, both of Monroe, and Officer Quintel Credit of Winsboro are accused of pepper spraying inmates in their eyes while they were cuffed, compliant, and kneeling. Lieutenant Loring also charged with failure to intervene, and Douglas, Schaefer, and Parker with lying to the FBI about it. A 5th ex-guard pleaded guilty to conspiracy, but charges against him were dropped and his guilty plea vacated after he was shot to death.
A tow truck driver faces charges after police say 2 crushed cars fell off his truck. One of them falling on I-20 and almost landing on 5th Street in West Monroe. West Monroe police say the tow truck driver was hauling 3 crushed cars to a salvage yard. For some reason, he swerved his truck, hit a concrete wall, causing 2 of the cars to come loose. A white Chevy landed in the grass below the interstate. The other car ended in the eastbound lane. No one was hurt, but the driver has been ticketed for having an unsecured load.
Boley Elementary will rebuild from the ashes, and a local church is offering to house students until it's done. The Ouachita Parish School Board has partnered with the Assembly Church to provide classrooms. Kindergarten through 5th grades will go to a former nursing home behind the Walmart Supercenter in West Monroe. The Assembly bought the building to use as a Bible college. The board unanimously voted to rebuild Boley on its original site. Architect Tim Brandon will be designing it, but it could take a few years for the new school to be completed. Students moving to the new site are currently at George Welch Elementary. The pre-kindergarten classes will stay at Crossley. For now, the former school burned after a lightning strike over a month ago.
Hundreds making the drive to Hot Springs to get their hands on some of the first legal medical marijuana available in Arkansas. As of close of business yesterday, over 1,100 certified patients purchased cannabis for the first official sale this past Friday. People as far as Wynne, Jonesboro, and Fayetteville drove several hours to wait in line, and they waited several more hours inside one of the dispensaries. Some of the patients waited as long as 5.5 hours before being able to step inside the door. Arkansas's limit is 2.5 ounces per visit, but the dispensaries are rationing supply until the harvest grows.
All right, camp is a summer tradition that many of us may take for granted, but Camp Quality USA is a special camp for a special group of people.
But they need your help. NBC 10's Chelsea Jones tells us exactly what they need.
Cancer, a disease that affects 1 out of every 3 people in the United States.
Most of the places we can go isn't like, people ask us like, oh, you had cancer, how was that?
Kyle Watson was diagnosed with cancer when he was only 6 years old. It affected his brain and spine. But it was summer camp at Camp Quality that gave him a chance to be normal.
Everybody's gone through that. They don't have any questions because they know the routine.
And the idea behind the camp is simple.
Well, we can't control the quantity of life, but we can control the quality of life.
Camp Quality is a week-long camp at King's Camp in Marouge for children ages 5 to 17. Watson, who is in his 4th year of remission, says it's activities like horseback riding that makes the camp fun. But they're in need of
kids. You know, it's just kind of hard to go out there and say, hey, we're looking for kids with cancer, but we are.
45 kids that have or have had cancer, and their siblings can come too. The cost is free. For Watson, cancer has never really been a bad thing.
You never feel sad. You don't even realize you're sick.
He says the worst part.
To tell the truth, the thing I was most upset about was having to get out here.
Camp Quality has given Watson a home, one that he's hopeful others will fall in love with too.
Please volunteer. Please come. Definitely worth it.
In West Monroe, Chelsea Jones, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Every weeknight on NBC 10 at 10, you have a chance to win some free gas. The prize is a $50 gas card brought to you by the Jim Taylor dealerships. If your name is called, you have by the end of the newscast to claim your prize, register at one of the Jim Taylor dealerships, or go to marklemis.com and click on the contest tab.
Now, your local weather.
Time now is 6:39. It's a beautiful start off towards the east. We got lots of sunshine that we are looking at. Not a cloud in sight. Enjoy this weather. It's going to be nice for the rest of the work week. 64 degrees your current temperature with light winds from the south. If you're heading off to the bus stop this morning, not going to need to worry about too much. Just going to want to dress light outside. No jackets, no coats. School's almost over. It's almost summertime, and these temperatures are reflecting that. Upper 80s this afternoon. So again, toasty. Drink lots of water. Wear your sunscreen. We are staying pretty warm for the next few days as humidity creeps back in by the weekend. So do the rain chances. It's been a nice break. I'm going to bring you all your forecast details in about 10 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Still to come on NBC 10 News today, summer vacation right around the corner. And you don't get summer vacation with adults. And if you're wondering how to keep your kids engaged during the break, we have the answer.
It's National Streaming Week. We've got all the details. Actually, is summertime reading coming up?
Yes.
I'm chatting with that lady right there. Very nice lady. She's up next on Channel 10.